Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, our guest is Gwendolyn Westlund, cancer survivor, heart transplant recipient, blood recipient, speaker, and advocate seeking a kidney transplant currently. Gwen's journey begins back in 2002 when she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 21. She was successfully treated with radiation therapy, sending her cancer into remission a year after her diagnosis. 5 years after her radiation for cancer, she learned that same radiation had scarred her heart. Quote, after a 2-week hospital stay with double lung pneumonia, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure due to mitral valve prolapse. Unquote. Gwen said, quote, I managed to keep my heart problems in check over the next 5 years by maintaining a healthy diet and taking my prescribed medication, unquote. By May of 2013, Gwen went into end-stage heart failure. She felt very ill and she was taken to the Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, Illinois, where she had numerous surgeries, blood transfusions, and eventually receiving both a left ventricle assist device, abbreviated capital LVAD, and a temporary external right ventricle assist device, abbreviated capital RVAD. After being sedated for 8 days, she was told she would need a new heart and had been placed on the heart transplant waiting list. After a 2-month hospital stay and 3 months waiting at home, she received the heart call in October of 2013 that a donor had been found. The heart transplant surgery was successfully done at the Advocate Aurora Heart Institute at Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, Illinois. Unfortunately, Gwen's health issues did not end there. During that 3-month stay in 2019, her body endured a lot of trauma, and the immunosuppressive medications that she took caused her kidneys to fail by March of 2019. After 3 rounds of pneumonia that year and undergoing treatment, she suffered an acute kidney injury. Without warning, she was placed on dialysis, and by Uncle Jim's incredibly bad math, she has currently been on dialysis for approximately 6 years. At this point in time, Gwen is not currently listed for a kidney transplant. However, she is actively seeking a center, and I promise you that as soon as she finds a place, we will update so you know who to call and where to call if you're interested in donating to Gwen. Despite all of her health issues, Gwen has advocated for all of us with the gift of hope and Valiant blood. She has also walked for various organizations. And if you go to her Facebook page on occasions, you will see she has a very sunny and positive outlook. The things that she posts on her personal Facebook page, I find them amazing considering the things that she's been through. Because of her health issues, currently most of her advocacy work is done on social media. Please give a warm welcome to your friend and mine, the great Gwen Westlund is with us tonight. Gwen, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. As well as can be expected, I guess.
All right. So, did I state everything correctly in the introduction?
Goodness. Yes, you did.
That's good. Way to go, Jim.
Way to go, Jim.
I understand that you are a married lady. What is your husband's name?
Bob.
Bob. Okay. Please tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your education, and your employment experiences.
Well, I grew up primarily in Downers Grove, Illinois. It's a little suburb outside of Chicago. I don't have too much education. I mean, I have high school education and I have a couple years of college. But I was primarily a makeup artist in my younger years. And then I went into administrative assistant work, and I was in my most recent position was an office manager for an event planning company, which was by far my favorite. I
All
really
right.
like that line of work.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your experience with cancer. I understand that back in 2002, you were diagnosed with Hodgkin's. Can you please explain how this diagnosis came about? How did you find out that you had cancer?
Well, I had been feeling sick for quite some time. I kept going to my primary physician, and honestly, I was told I was a hypochondriac. I was told I might be depressed. I'm overly anxious. Um, uh, just a variety of things. And eventually, the tumor just popped up on the side of my left side. And I went in and they said, well, it might be a swollen gland. And I said, I don't think so. So they actually said, well, we'll monitor it. And if it doesn't go down in the next couple weeks, we'll get you a biopsy. Well, my whole neck swelled up twice the size as it normally would be. And I ended up going to the emergency room. And there, the emergency physician immediately said, I don't want to concern you, but I think this might be a lymphoma. Let's get you biopsied tomorrow. And that's how that came about. So,
Okay. What was your reaction at the time that you were diagnosed?
honestly, relief because I'd been sick for so long. I was just grateful that they had finally found what was wrong with me. So,
Okay. And you were about 21 at that time?
yes,
Okay. And what did they do to try and eliminate it?
radiation therapy, surgery, and radiation therapy
Okay.
in
And
my neck and my chest.
okay, I understand that you went into remission about a year after your diagnosis.
Yes, yes, and
Have I'm sorry, go ahead, Gwen.
no. Luckily, it was successful.
All right. And has cancer reoccurred since that time?
No, it has not.
That is great
I know.
news, my
I know.
friend. That is great news. Let's talk a little bit about your heart issues. I understand that 5 years after the radiation for cancer treatment, you learned that the radiation had scarred your heart. Can you please tell us how that diagnosis came about?
Well, I was in the hospital with double lung pneumonia, and I knew that that's why I was having some of the trouble breathing, but they kept telling me that that was the only reason. And I said, no, I said, I just don't feel right. I said, I feel like someone's literally sitting on me. Um, and so it took a while, but eventually they had a cardiologist see me and they evaluated me and determined that, yeah, I had some heart issues, some
Okay.
congestive heart failure.
All right. And that was due to mitral valve prolapse?
Mitral valve prolapse, and they said I had scarring on my heart tissue.
Okay. I want to make a point here. If any of you want more information about Gwen or what she's been through or what she's going through, if you go to my personal Facebook page, pinned at the top of that page is this broadcast. In the comments to that broadcast is all my research. So you can catch up with Gwen and drill down a little bit and check everything out. But all the terms that we're using and all of the references to hospitalizations, all of her other videos, including the last one that she did with me in March of 2022, they're all there. So, you can check and see what's going on with Gwen. And I promise as soon as Gwen gets a new transplant center, which I believe will happen very soon, I will let everybody know because your Uncle Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome. Um, how did you keep or how long were you hospitalized? Let's start with that.
Which time?
Okay.
Which time are you referring to?
The double pneumonia when they diagnosed you with
Oh,
congestive heart.
that was only about 2 weeks. Yeah, that wasn't a terribly long stay. Maybe
Okay.
3 weeks.
All right. How were you able to keep your heart issues in check for a 5-year period?
Um, Diet, medication, some exercise. Um, I did kickboxing for a while, so that was fun.
I understand that in May of 2013, you went into end stage heart failure, feeling ill, not well, and were taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And what did they do for you there?
Um, well, I started out at Good Samaritan in Downers Grove. Um, I thought it was just something that needed a tune up, and they said, no, you're in end stage failure. So they needed to transfer me to Christ. At that point, I was unconscious, and my husband had to make the call to have the left ventricular assist device and the temporary right assist device placed. And then they evaluated me after that and got me on the list. I was told I needed a transplant.
I read somewhere you were actually sedated for a period of 8 days,
Yes. Yes.
and they told you you're going to need a new heart, and that's when they placed you on the heart transplant waiting list.
Correct.
How did that make you feel?
Um, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I felt a little hopeless, a little, uh, obviously sad. Um, but they told me people survive. And you have to pick yourself up and keep going.
Okay. My notes are telling me that you were in the hospital for 2 months, and then you
Yes,
waited at home for another 3 months after discharge or so before you received call.
correct.
All right. And the heart call was in October of 2013 for your heart transplant.
Yep,
And they were telling you a donor had been found.
yep.
What was that like?
I was in shock because they had told me it could be several years before they found a transplant for me. Um, so it was quite miraculous that I had it so quickly. So yeah, shock, and then relief, obviously.
Obviously. The heart transplant surgery was done at Advocate Aurora Heart Institute at the Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn.
Correct. Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
For my heart transplant,
Yes, ma'am.
well, I mean, it was probably about a 10-hour surgery. Um, I handled it pretty well. I'd have to say my recovery was probably 3 or 4 weeks in the hospital, and then time at home. Obviously, I mean, you need more time than that. Um, I was in the hospital a little bit longer than they had anticipated. My body did take a little bit of time. Um, but all in all, it went well. I
Okay.
had excellent surgeons.
Very good. Very good. Do you continue to have heart problems today?
I do not have heart problems. My heart problems are actually under control. Everything's pretty good with my heart, actually. Um, I have a multitude of other issues that have stemmed from that since then, but the heart itself is good. It's strong.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, I understand that during your 3 months hospital stay in March of 2019, due to immunosuppressive medications that you were taking, They in turn caused your kidneys to fail. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
And after 3 rounds of pneumonia, man, you are such a trooper. 3 rounds of pneumonia that year and undergoing treatment, you suffered an acute kidney injury and were placed on dialysis?
Yep. Yeah. No warning.
Okay. And how long have you currently been on dialysis?
About 5.5 years.
Okay, so I overestimated it.
That's okay.
Shame on
Just
me.
a little. Just a little.
What kind of modality are you using for your kidney dialysis?
I do in-center hemodialysis.
Okay. And how frequently are you being dialyzed?
Up until last week, I was going 3 days a week. I just started next stage, which is 5 days a week.
Okay. And how long a period of time do your dialysis sessions last?
Currently about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Okay. And 5 days a week, like Monday through Friday kind of days a week.
It's actually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
They give you Thursday off.
Yes, they give me Thursday off. Thursday and
Okay.
Sunday.
All right. From the time that you were placed on dialysis to the present, what has your health been like? Have you had any issues or complications?
Well, fatigue, horrible fatigue. Um, Tons of stomach issues. I lost a tremendous amount of weight. I went from about 100 pounds to 75 pounds. Um, I'm back up now. They had to place a feeding tube, which I still have, but my weight has gone back up. So that's the good news.
Yes. Yes. And just so we reiterate one more time, it's my understanding that you are currently looking for a kidney transplant center in or near Chicagoland.
Correct.
Okay. Places like Rush or Northwestern or the University of Chicago
Correct.
are all under consideration, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Since our last talk in March of 2022, have you had any additional health challenges that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, a plethora of stomach issues, COPD. Um, so I'm having some breathing issues. Um, and again, just pure exhaustion and more pneumonia.
Okay. Wow, the pneumonia thing is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they finally have me on a medicine that prevents infection. So it's been about 4 months since I've had any issues. So
Very
hopefully
good.
that's going to continue to work.
Let's talk about your advocacy work a little bit, both before and after your current health issues. I understand that you have advocated for all of us with the gift of hope and Vitalant blood.
Yes.
Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your work with the gift of hope.
Well, I would do events, any events that they had going on, I would try and participate. Um, I would do several a year. Um, Unfortunately, now that I'm homebound for the most part, I do a lot of my advocacy online.
Okay. In your lifetime, during your health crises, it's my understanding that you've had frequent blood transfusions. Is that a fair statement to make?
I've had several, but not frequent.
Okay. Several blood transfusions. And part of your advocacy work is that you've done blood drives to try and help other people?
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I've had some successful blood drives. I also had a couple of events that I've hosted myself through my own group. It's not a nonprofit, it's just a group that I had when I was still a little bit more functional.
Support group type thing?
No, it's an advocacy group.
Okay.
It was called Recycled Life Warriors, and had a couple of successful events. Um, Primarily one in Westmont, which is a neighboring town to me, which they were very receptive and very helpful. And I had people from my own hospital group come, uh, whether it was doctors or patients, and speak. And it was just a lovely event. It was really nice. We had a good turnout and good event.
Great. Great. Something I read recently that you and your husband do around Christmas time is that you guys are delivering ornaments to hospital patients over the holidays. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a group that I've been with since 2008, prior to meeting my husband. Um, and it's run by my friend Elizabeth Elliott, and it's called Hope Ornaments. And she founded it. It's a nonprofit, and we collect new ornaments each year from donors. And we package them, and then we go into hospitals and we deliver to patients who are in over the holidays. It's
Excellent.
really tremendous. We love doing it.
And you guys are already starting to promote it, and it's just the middle of August.
Yeah, well, you have to start getting those ornaments together. You need a lot of them because we do a lot of hospitals. I
How,
myself do about three.
how many ornaments would you say that you give out over a given holiday period on
Oh my
average?
goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't even know. I don't get the bulk of them. Lizzie does. And I have to guess at least
Okay,
5,000, maybe
1,000.
5,000. Five.
Wow, that's a lot.
They do a lot of hospitals. We've got a network over Illinois and parts of Wisconsin.
I I wanted to ask you about something else too that I've noticed recently about some of your posts. Um, you posted something today. Do I have your permission to show the our audience the thing that you posted today?
Sure.
Okay. Hang on. Uncle Jim's got to get himself together here. Maybe. I see these kind of posts from you all the time where you talk about how grateful you are to be alive and what a wonderful experience it is that you're having with your friends and your family. How are you able, despite all of your health challenges, to be so grateful and optimistic?
Well, I realize what the alternative is. And, I could not be here very easily. And I really am grateful for all of the time that I have with my husband and my nieces and nephews. And um, I try to find the joy in every day and just really look at the positives of things. It's not always easy. I have my bad days, just like everybody else. Um, but you have to choose. You have to choose every day.
Okay. I I have seen photographs on your Facebook page of you with your family, and I probably should have put one of those on an overlay, but I neglected to do that. However, I have shared it,
Uh huh.
asking people to come view the broadcast, and I will share it again, asking them to view the replay. But your family is not a small family. It looks like three
Oh no,
football teams and a referee.
I have a big Irish family. Yes, and
Okay.
then I have my husband's family too, which is amazing.
Amazing. All right. Gwen, do you have any final statements that you would like to make to our audience before we conclude the broadcast for the evening?
I just want to thank everybody for sharing their time with us, listening to my story. Hopefully, someone might consider donating a kidney. If not to me, to someone else. Um, we could all use a little bit of help. So, yeah. And just be grateful for every day.
Well, that's one thing I was thinking about. Actually, it might help you if you had someone that was willing to be a living donor get relisted, correct?
Correct.
So, if you're out there, my friend Gwen, as you can see, she's been through a lot of health issues, cancer, and her heart and kidney, none of which are her fault. Okay,
Thank
I
you.
want to make that real
Yeah.
clear. These are all circumstances that happen to her primarily because of medical treatment. So if you have it in your heart to do this for my friend, for this wonderful person that is so optimistic and it spreads joy all over the place and does things like help people get blood transfusions when they need them and advocates for all us kidney patients, passes out 1,000 Christmas ornaments at 3 different hospitals over I've been in the hospital over Christmas, and
Me too.
the best I got was a visit from the nurses telling me that I need to go to the bathroom, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no, I was in just this last Christmas
Me too.
myself.
Close to Christmas,
Yeah.
around Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry
Heart
I'm not in
issue.
Indiana. I would have brought you an ornament.
Oh, that's okay. Next time. Um, but at any rate, if you find it in your heart, um, you can contact Gwen on Facebook. When she gets a transplant center, you contact her transplant coordinator. Let's try to help my friend. Okay,
Thank
she's
you so
worth the
much, Jim.
trip, believe me.
Thank you, Jim.
So, all right, Gwen, I've taken up about a half an hour of your time. I'm going to let you go now. I just have some things to button up with our audience. I will
Okay.
be creating a broadcast replay, and I will send you the links to that so you
Okay,
can
great.
post it. Just so you know, I'm averaging about 5 to 6,000 screen views of these replays. So we will get the word out for you. And as I said, I post on more places than just Facebook, although Facebook is the best viewing group that I
Right.
have. But I will make sure I get the word out, and you will keep us all posted on your progress, right?
Of course. Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
And
Jim.
we'll talk soon. And no worries. If there's ever anything I can do, if there's anything you need or you want to come back and talk, just let me know.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I
You're
appreciate you.
welcome. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for coming on and educating
Thank
all
you.
of us.
Thank you. You have a great
All
day.
right. That's our broadcast for this evening. Next week, August 30th, we have Jennifer Kramer Miller scheduled for the broadcast. She's a writer, speaker, FSGS patient, author of a book called Incurable Optimists: Living with Illness and Chronic Hope. Should be a good one. You don't want to miss that. Going to be very interesting to talk to her. And I love authors, so we'll be talking to her about the book. And God, I got a week to read it. So stay tuned with us, and I will see you in a week. Thank you so much for watching.